guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do a book tag today. I'm going to do the Boujee Booktuber Tag, and this was created by Olive at a Book Olive. I was tagged by Sarah at Steeped in Books. I'm a little late on this, sorry about that. I have both of their videos down below as well as all the questions, so I'm just going to dive right in. Question number 1 is, what is your average monthly budget for books? So I don't have a strict budget for books. I probably should. With the way that I've spent money last year and this year, and I've tracked every book that I've bought and how much I spent, I probably do need to make a budget for the next coming year. I am trying to save money for other things, so I need to probably cut back on my book buying. I don't read anywhere near as many books as I buy, so my collection has grown so much that I actually don't have to buy books for several years and I'd be fine. So I don't have a budget now. I might have had an idea of doing a budget earlier this year, I didn't stick with it. So I think probably going forward, I'm probably gonna have to make one. But as I said, my biggest money spent on extraneous, that are the stuff that I don't have to, that I have money for, that my extra money, they mostly go to books. That's my favorite thing to buy. So anyway, so I see that's kind of, but I probably need a budget because I have a lot of books. Question number 2 is, what's the most you've ever spent in a bookstore? Now I had to think about this, and I realized that a lot of times I really buy piecemeal, which is how I accumulate so many books, is because I buy a book here and there every couple of days online or stopping at a bookstore or something like that, because usually I'm watching videos and see somebody talking about a book I want. But the most I know that I've spent, at least in the last, I would say the last 10, 15 years, for sure, the most I spent is $130 when my dad and I went to Pal's last New Year's. We got to go by ourselves, so we didn't have to worry about any other family members, saying, hey, can we go now? So we spent over an hour, and we had a lot of fun. He bought more than I did because he had more gift cards than I did. But I had quite a few, plus some Christmas money that I spent. So I spent $130. I don't remember now how many books that was. It was quite a few. It was, as I said, I have a book haul from it. But that's the most I can remember spending in one spot at one time. And again, as I said, I'm really much a more, I buy piecemeal, and I'm also, when I do a bookstore hop, I buy a couple books here and there. I don't buy like that much. But we don't go to the downtown Pal's very often. I go to the one in Cedar Hills, which is much more dangerous because it's close. But the one downtown has a bigger inventory, and so I go there like once a year. And yeah, it's usually quite a bit, but I think that 130 is still like the highest that I can think of that I spent at one time. Question number 3 is, are you willing to pay full price for a brand new release, or will you wait until you have a coupon or there's a sale? So there are certain authors that I buy on the day that they come out, or I pre-order them, and I just want the book. And so those authors, I'll pay full price if I have to. It hurts sometimes, but I will still do it because those are the authors I want to support, and I want their book right away, even if I don't get to read it right that instant. So, but I would say most other books, I'm much more amped to wait until there's a sale, or they go down in price, or they're used. Like I'll wait them out. And I need to be a little more better about that, about waiting. Right now, I still pretty much go out and buy them when I want them. But that's kind of my answer to that. Number 4 is, would you rather buy one new book or several less expensive used copies? And I would rather buy several inexpensive used copies because I'd get more books out for my money. But again, if it was one of my favorite authors and when I was waiting for that book, that would win. But I would say overall, I would much rather buy several used copies. Number 5 is, what do you think is a reasonable price for a new hardback book, a paperback, and an ebook? So this is the, sorry, my nose is just, this is the question that has a lot of people doing discussion videos on. I know Britta Bowler did one. I know Robert at Barter Hordes did one. I know Greg at Supposedly Fun. I know there's another one that I can't remember right now. But they're all from different point of views of like a bookseller. Oh, there was somebody in publishing. Somebody else was in publishing. I can't think who did it now, but and then somebody was in as a writer or author. So there's a whole lot of discussions about this one, and so I think it's really interesting because a lot of us don't want to pay so much for books, but it's because we're buying so many, and I get that. So I'm going to answer this question as in what I think is a reasonable price as what I want to pay. And I'm not saying like I want bargain basement. I mean, what's the highest that I'm going to pay for certain books that I really want? So whatever is a reasonable price for a new hardback. Again, I only buy 2 authors in hardback right now, and actually now it's down to 1 because I finished the series I was following. So, and hopefully I'll not have any hardbacks for a while. But I will pay up to $25 for those books because they're hardbacks. They're the only ones I'd pay that much money for. I very much do not buy hardbacks. I don't like to buy hardbacks, even used. I'm not a hardback. I don't like to read hardbacks. I read a lot of stuff from the library in hardback, and I just don't enjoy it. But if it's a book I really wanted, like Tad Williams there, and it's huge like that, I will pay $25. That's, I mean... Anyway, when it gets to the paperbacks, trade paperbacks, I like to pay up to $15. When it gets over $15, I kind of on him, maybe not, maybe, maybe. And I might wait on it and wait for used or for a sale. But I will pay up to $15 pretty easily. I figure that they're worth it. They're a good size. I like, especially if they're well made. I usually spend between $11 and $15 for my trade paperbacks, and that's kind of what I like to pay for that. If it's over that, as I said, I'll wait. A mass market paperback I wanted to put in because I do buy both. I still buy a lot of mass market paperbacks because some of my series, especially my urban fantasy and paranormal romances, still only come out in mass market paperback, and in a lot of romances that I read. And I will pay up to the... I don't like to. I'd rather be $8 and below, but I might go as high as $9, but I don't like to pay $10. So it's more 8 to 9 is about as high as I want to go for a mass market. And I would much rather pay below 8, like the $7.99 and below. But we'll take what you get. But that's kind of what I will pay. And then an ebook. Now here's where a lot of controversy is about ebooks because a lot of people want them cheap. And I get that. I personally don't want to buy ebooks that are over $6. So it's just because it's not a medium I read in very much. I very rarely read ebooks compared to physical. And so it's just, I don't find it or I don't want to spend my money on a book on ebook form that's so expensive that I could have bought a paperback for. I would rather have a paperback on my shelf. So there's only one author that I buy an expensive ebook for, because when they come out in hardback, I don't want to collect their hardbacks. The Lingy's thing. Anyway, but the point is that I really love her book, so I want the book as soon as it comes out, and I read it right away. So it is worth for me to pay the $12, $13 for that ebook. It's the only author and only books that I buy that are that expensive, because I will buy the paperback, the mass market paperback, when it comes out later. And so I'm still paying almost as much as the hardback, but I don't want a hardback on my shelf, and I don't want to read a hardback. So she's the only one that's kind of my exception to the rule, but most of their ebooks, I don't pay over $6 anymore. I don't feel it, even though it's all the production, the editing, the writing, and the publishing part of it, I know that they need to make money too, but I just feel that ebooks, because they are not physical, it is hard for me to feel that they're worth more than that. But that is just my opinion. As I said, check out the other videos that have a lot of good discussions on this. I think everybody has a good opinion of this. And again, we all pay for what we want. And again, I said, I don't read enough ebooks to make it worthwhile for me to pay a lot for books, or pay more than that, because I'm not reading them very much. And when I do want to read a book, I usually want to read physical, and I'll usually pay a little bit more and get a physical copy. for me. Or, you know, well, pay that. Or if I want to pay that much, I want a physical copy, I guess is what I want to say. So there's my answer. Anyway, number 6 is a signed book worth more to you. How about a first edition? No, I don't care about any of that stuff. I have a few signed editions from Gail Kelliger, and that's about it. And everybody else, they're just books anyway. And I don't have any first editions. Doesn't matter to me. And I'm here to read the books and not collect them that way. My collection is for reading, not for monetary issues. 7, what is your most valuable book, sentimental or actual value? So I don't have anything that I would say was, you know, that was worth a lot of money at all. This is just sentimental, as again, my Tad Williams, The Dragonbone Chair. Again, I got this when I was 14, and so it's precious to me because it was the first book I read of his, and a friend let me borrow it, and then I talked her into letting me keep it. Not my best moment, but I still have this book after all these years. It has traveled to several states with me. It has been on my bookshelf since I was 14. So this book is like one of the oldest books on my shelf that I still own from, you know, that time period. And I just love this. And again, the Michael Whalen cover is just gorgeous. And I do have paperbacks of this. It's just that when I reread, I usually reread those. This is just for on my shelf. And it is my favorite book. Just enough said. Anyway, so number 8 is, will you pay more for a cover or edition you like better? Sometimes. I don't want to pay too much more for a cover that I like. I'm not quite a cover buy person. I will buy editions that I like better, like a Penguin Classic or the vintage ones and the World Classics. Like, I'll go through which ones I like the covers were better and check the price, and which one's the cheaper price or the one that I'm willing to pay, again, with my trade paperback boundaries of what I want to pay. So I'll just choose. I usually, if I have choices, I will pick the cover I like, but I won't pay a huge amount more. Maybe just a little bit, but mostly not. I just want the book. Number 9, what physical characteristics does a good quality book have? So, I like, again, trade paperbacks are my favorite. I like it when their covers are a little sturdier. I do like the French flaps and the deckled edges sometimes, but I don't need those. Actually, that's not my thing. I love floppy books. Like, those are just fantastic, that you can just flop it around and it'll flop open and it'll stay there when you're reading. I love those. I love that. I just want it to stay together and not to fall apart so easily. So that's kind of, you know, those things I like. Number 10, if you won the lottery, what bookish things would you do with your money? I know a lot of people talked about owning a bookstore or opening one or doing something like that. Agreed. If I had the money to have a business that probably wouldn't make a whole lot of money, but I could put money into it and just have fun, I would have a bookstore. But I would have one of those bookstores that sold alcohol, or, you know, so that and they would stay late. We wouldn't open until like middle of the afternoon and then go till midnight or whatever, you know, like just have fun and have a place at night to go sit down and have comfy chairs and read. I don't know, but I wouldn't worry about making money. I just want to have a place for reading, people to hang out. I don't know. That would be nice but you know, realistically, I would probably donate a lot of money to my libraries. I've been involved in a lot of library systems over the years by where I've moved, and I would probably donate a lot of money that way as well for bookish things. So, the last question, the bonus question, is give us an image, actual or mental, of your dream home library. So I'm very lucky that I have one of my my bedrooms is a library. I have 7 of these IKEA Billy bookshelves that are around the room. And yes, they're full. And I have a lot of other bookshelves in the other part of the house. But I always, let's see if I can get this to load. I would love something like that where there's like a couple of levels and you got to climb up and the books are, they're just in a room like this room. I wish if I had a lot of money I could push up this part of the house so that it also goes to the 2nd floor and I can make another library upstairs or make this room higher. I don't know. I'd make another library room probably, but I just think that's beautiful. Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, so that's my tag. I'm not going to tag anybody because a lot of people have done this already. If you haven't, do it. It's a fun tag. Anyway, so I will see you guys later. Bye.